Hey, this is Matthew.
And this is Andrea.
And we just got back from Ghostbusters Fan Fest.
Woo!
So stay tuned. Here's going to be our review of the entire 2-day-long event. So we're back after our 5-day trip to California.
Yeah, I miss California.
Only 2 days before the Ghostbusters Fan Fest. The rest
Yes.
were some other stuff that we did as well.
Having fun.
Things. Yeah.
Having lots of fun.
A little mini vacation.
Yeah, check out his Insta.
So yeah, we went to Ghostbusters Fan Fest for 2 of those days that we were down there. Well, day 2 was in Culver City. Day 1 was closer to Hollywood. Not quite Hollywood, but closer to it.
Yes.
So we had a lot of good experiences, a lot of weird experiences, a lot of experiences, but mostly the good outweighed the bad.
Oh, by far.
Yeah. So we're just going to run down all the stuff that happened, what we liked, what we didn't like. So this event was put on by Wizard World, and they were gracious enough to accept our press credentials to check the show out as members of the press, because really the biggest thing for me from day 1 of hearing about this festival was ticket prices.
Yes.
And we're going to probably discuss this a little bit more in depth towards the end of the video. But when they first announced ticket prices, they were really something weird in the neighborhood.
Yes, they were intense.
Yeah, they were absurd, really. Like when they first did it, the initial ticket was like $500.
Yeah.
And fans were just in an uproar. They eventually offered cheaper tickets, and we'll talk a little more about that again later because we found some developments in California too. We weren't going to go initially, but we got lucky and we got our press passes.
We got press passes. We got some really good deals for flights and everything, and so it was nowhere near as painful as we thought it would originally be. So we went to Cali, and it was awesome.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start with day 1, I guess, which was at the Globe Theater, where we saw the screening of the film. Now, this kind of goes into a bigger issue we had with the whole event, though, was that there was not really any schedule announced.
There were some communication issues.
I was under the impression initially that both days were going to still have this festival happening, and day 2 would have been then the screening as well. Maybe presumptuous of me to think of that.
I'm not sure where you got that idea, but to be honest, I would look at the schedule and be like, I wonder when everything is happening. To be honest, this is really more for you. You're by far and away more of the Ghostbusters fan than I am.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just saying. I mean, I love the Ghostbusters, but this is your fandom. I'm not gonna step on that. So, but looking at the schedule, I thought it was a 2-day thing. I thought there were 2 full days. So, I didn't look at it as in-depthly as you did, but it was confusing.
That's kind of the point, is that there really wasn't much of a schedule at all. In fact, a few days before the event, on their website, they still had nothing posted. All we knew was that there was a screening on Friday, the event in Culver City at the Sony Pictures Lot on Saturday.
Yeah.
We knew there were a bunch of panels, in theory, but there was no schedule of what they were, when they were, where they were all going to be. Yeah. And even a few days before we went down to California, I asked the PR person, what's the schedule? Is it going to be released? And he said, coming soon. Yeah. Coming soon meant day of the show, we'd get a schedule. Yeah. Which was lame. We'll get back to that
the schedule
later.
Itself looked really cool. I mean, it was a great booklet and everything, but we would have preferred to have had it earlier because that way we could have planned out what we were going to do and coordinate a little bit better. I mean, I think we did a lot of great coverage, but at the same time, having a little bit more operating room to work with would have been helpful.
But we'll talk a little more about that once we get to day 2. But day 1, again, we didn't realize it was going to be somewhere else, and we didn't realize how far away it was also from Culver City, because that's where we were staying. So it was basically about an hour Uber ride because of traffic to actually get from where we were staying to the Globe Theater, which was unexpected.
Yeah, it was a little rough. We tried leaving earlier, and we went to a couple of little places that were sort of in the halfway point, and it was not the halfway point because of traffic, ultimately.
We ended up going to Mega City 1, in fact, for a little bit, and that's where we saw the folks from Yes Have Some Podcast. I didn't take a photo of them, but they were very active at the event.
Yes.
And they actually gave us a really cool tip, which was across the street from Mega City 1 was Gallery 1988.
That place is awesome. If you get a chance to go, you need to.
Yeah, really cool. It's all this artwork inspired by 80s and 90s pop culture. Right now, they had a trading card exhibit going on. That was really nifty.
Oh, that was pretty cool. I mean, there was just so much geeky fun there. I mean, if I had more money, so much of that art would have been coming home with me.
Yeah.
Which is why it's probably a good thing I don't have a lot of money.
So then we got over to the Globe Theater, which had an enormous line of Ghostbusters fans.
That was really great to see.
Yeah.
I gotta say, pulling up and seeing just the line just wrapped around the block, and there were just so many nerds. So many Ghostbuster nerds. It was fantastic.
So one of my concerns, though, was the theater itself, because, again, the Ghostbusters Fan Fest website had zero information about anything. So I had to go to the Globe Theater to see, what are they going to have? Are they going to have refreshments? Is there refreshment possibility, even? Yeah. What's the seating like? Which I found out there is not really necessarily actual seating, because it's not really that kind of a theater. It's more of a live performance theater. But they had chairs, but Yeah.
Yeah, they ended up putting in a ton of chairs, and I'm pretty sure that the seating up top is normal. It is a little normal because there were tables, but yeah. Otherwise, it's really not your typical movie theater venue.
Well, you didn't go upstairs, so you didn't actually see what it looked like up there. So there was like a few high tables with a few high chairs. Most of it was actually standing room. And then a little bit further in the back was in a higher up bar area, which had like, again, a few chairs and a few like couchy areas, but otherwise standing room only.
Okay.
And the theater itself, for I guess movies, they say it holds like 425 people. I don't know if there were that many there.
No.
I don't think there were 400 people, maybe closer to 200, maybe a little more, but regardless, a lot of it was standing room only. That's because a lot of people were just kind of standing around, schmoozing, having fun with each other.
I feel like by the end of it, more people were sitting than standing. But yeah, there was a lot of people just milling around, drinking, because there's a bar. There were bars. So,
which conveniently had Crystal Head vodka.
Ooh. They did have 2 specialty drinks, which looked really interesting. One was based off of the Marshmallow Man, though I did not hear good things about that one. That one was back and forth. I was told by some people, because I asked them, they were just like, don't get this, don't get this. But meanwhile, I saw plenty of people wandering, drinking it and seeming happy. So, I mean, it's subjective. But there's also one based off of Slimer, which they pretty much said was like a sour apple teeny kind of thing. And they seem to really like that one, too. But in regards to the drinks, small complaint, $16. It was $16 for those drinks, but they're in like regular plastic cups. There was nothing fancy about it.
Not even a souvenir cup.
Yeah, I mean, I would have expected a markup, absolutely, and besides, we're based in New York. You know, I'm used to high prices for drinks in a bar, but this was a little excessive for literally just the drink.
It was a very expensive event, as we're going to see, and thankfully, I feel so lucky that we got the press pass.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
We weren't going to go. I really wanted to go, but when I saw the prices announced, I couldn't get myself to do it. Once they lowered the prices, I still considered it, but it was still a lot of money. And so that was an issue for later that we'll talk more about again. I keep saying that, but it's because it's a big thing that does affect us in the next part.
I will say this. Given how big a fan you are, it actually did break my heart a little bit originally when we found out that you weren't going to be able to make it. Like it was, we were both planning on going, but when the prices came out, there was definitely no way I could make it. There was a small shot, but realistically, as we were looking at everything, there was no way you were going, and that hurt because I knew how much this meant to you.
Yeah, when they first announced the prices, I saw all the Ghostbuster community people just like talk about it, and just, some of them were just like, "What is this? We can't go to this. Only the elites can go to this." And it was like dividing the community even.
I'm not surprised. Yeah. It was really painful to see those prices and to see them without having a clear idea as to who was going to be there.
Yeah, like they slowly put out more and more who was going to come, but again, that goes back to the schedule. So as for the theater itself, though, it was actually a pretty nice theater.
Oh, I liked the theater a lot. It was this great venue. Oh my god, one of my favorite parts was on the sides in the balcony areas. They put up projections of the Ghostbusters logo and what was it, Slimer?
The Wizard World logo.
Oh, and the Wizard World logo. Yeah, and I really liked that.
Yeah, it was a nice little touch.
Yeah.
It was cool.
It helped personalize it.
And it was cool to seeing so many proton packs and jumpsuits in one spot. Yeah. That was also really fun.
Yeah. And by the way, if you get a chance to go to the Globe Theater, it's a really cool space because it has all this history to it, and like it's lined with all these old pictures as you go down to the bathroom and things like that. It's really cool area. You know, I definitely would recommend trying to see something else there. But yeah, it was fun seeing all the Ghostbusters people just, you know, converge onto it.
I think what you were most into was that cotton candy.
Okay, no, let's get this straight. This was an accident. It was an accident. Okay, so there's this guy who is doing free cotton candy. That was kind of neat, especially because, to be honest, that the non-alcoholic refreshment options were limited.
$4 hot dogs, nachos, candy bars, water, booze.
Pretty much, you know. But so there's a guy doing free cotton candy, and he was having fun, and he was like, you know, doing a big one, and he was doing a little one. They were sort of playing off of each other, and it was my turn on the line, and I'm like, wow, this is really big. I don't want that. And he's like, do you want a little one or a big one? The little one had like practically nothing on it. So I was like, can I get a medium one? I'm thinking he's just going to add a little bit more to the little one. No, he gives me the giant one.
It was bigger than your head.
It was bigger than your head.
It was bigger than our heads combined.
It was enormous, and I ate it. Why did I eat it?
It looked like Slimer.
It really did. It was this really cool green color. I've never had lime cotton candy before. It was tasty, but it was so big. People kept looking at me. I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. Do you want some? I tried giving it out, but no one wanted to take except for you.
Yeah, I took the tiniest piece. I was like, that was way too much for someone to eat.
Oh my god. Yeah, that messed me up for like the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So, aside from seeing the really cool crowds outside, on the line, there was one of the best moments before we were let in was when the Ecto showed up.
And it wasn't the Ecto one proper. It was,
No.
I think it was the Arizona Ghostbusters. That was their car. I guess they drove from Arizona to California for the screening, and they basically pulled up, and they were allowed to park right in the front. Like, they had a spot section out for them. They pulled up right in the front with their siren going off.
Oh my god, everyone was so excited.
It caught the attention of a lot of people who didn't know what was happening. It's like, why is there this line of Ghostbusters people, and why is the Ecto one here? But it was really cool.
That is actually one of my favorite things about nerd events, is the normies.
Yeah.
When they're like, what's going on over here? Huh.
I was surprised there wasn't really any mainstream coverage of this thing. Like, there weren't any news trucks or anything. I know it's not like a big thing, but still, it's big enough that, I feel like some local CBS News should have covered it.
Ghostbusters is a part of pop culture. Like, it is a very strong piece of pop culture. So it was surprising that there was very little coverage about it. Yeah. I agree with you on that.
So let's talk about the screening itself, which was introduced by Dan Aykroyd, who then came out and introduced William Atherton, who then introduced Ernie Hudson, who got the biggest pop of the night, I think.
It was awesome. He absolutely got the biggest pop. It was fantastic seeing everybody just give Ernie all the love.
Yeah. And then out came Ivan Reitman, and then he introduced his son Jason Reitman, who I think probably got the second biggest pop of the night, too. It was him and Ernie were close, though.
Him and Ernie were close, but I think Ernie got the bigger pop, because, to be honest, Jason only got the pop because he's got... because
he's coming out now.
He's going to be doing the new movie. But Ernie got all the love, the real love.
And in fact, the first thing Jason said was, we're going to start filming in 5 weeks, or at the time of this video, 4 weeks from now. So, so the movie's heating up. We're going to get in there soon. Production's going to begin, which is really cool. And then they began by showing us basically a commercial for the new Blu-ray that just came out, which is the 35th anniversary Blu-ray Steelbook with GB 1 and 2 and all the new deleted scenes and alternate stuff.
And it's in 4K, I think.
4K.
Yeah, so it's really intense.
Really intense set. So they showed us a commercial for that, and then they showed us, the first people to see this in the world was a show reel from, I think it was from Vegas. Yeah, it's from the Vegas show reel in 1983 for the Ghostbusters movie. And what that is essentially it's a commercial for the film. Yeah. And it was basically just Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, walking out of the firehouse, standing in front of the Ecto 1 and trying to sell the movie to theaters to buy it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty great. I don't know how I felt about seeing it blown up the way that it was, because they looked a little, just being up on the screen, they looked a little, stretched too, they looked a little blown out, but it was just so much fun to listen and see and everything.
It was really cool. And then the movie began. And that's where some issues also began. And I thought it was just us, but apparently hearing the next day, it was not just us. So the Globe, I don't know if this was the Globe Theater's fault or what the deal was, but the movie itself, maybe they're just trying to match the look of the 2016 movie.
Yeah.
Because it was so oversaturated.
Oh my god,
yeah. So blown out. So that's number one. The color and the brightness were so blown out. It was it looked bad. And it looked noticeably wrong. And then the worst part was the audio.
Oh my god, the audio was painful. We eventually grabbed headphones and put them in just so we could just, buffer some of the sound.
We were going to leave. It was that bad.
Yeah.
It was getting to that point. I didn't want to leave, but it was we were unfortunately right over a speaker also, but it wasn't just because we were over the speaker. People in front of us also put on headphones. Someone had earmuffs even.
I saw kids with plugging their ears. I heard people kind of groaning.
Yeah.
It was painful. It was when I say painful, I mean it was very physically painful for it to be that loud.
And it wasn't even just the loud parts that were loud, it was everything that was loud. Even popping a pea hurt.
Oh my god.
The floor would shake when the proton beams went off. It was really bad.
Oh my god, yeah. And between that and the brightness, we couldn't even look at the screen at times.
There was a lot of times it was way too bright to look at, especially when the proton beams were out. It was noisy, rumbly, and just hurting our eyes and ears. Yeah. Not a good combination.
And then on top of that, they tried to make the experience a little bit more immersive. Yeah, a little bit more immersive. And so during big moments, the lights would, the stage lights, they would go off. The beams go off. We'd get bright flashes. And add that brightness to the brightness in the movie, and it was just whoa, have to close my eyes.
Yeah.
And on top of that, this is something that I think it really does need to be addressed. They never mentioned that there were going to be lights like that. It's one thing to have an overly blown out movie. It's one thing to have it bright and loud and everything, but they never mentioned that there were going to be flashing lights. And for people who have sensitivity to lights, who have epileptic issues or whatever, they would have gone into this without knowing. And that could have caused some serious problems. I do think that needs to be addressed because it's all you have to do is write a disclaimer when you're putting out information.
Yeah. Normally places do that. They didn't.
Yeah.
And, I don't have epilepsy, but I have issues with lights that are flashing that are really bright like that, so I had to look away a lot. And luckily, there was some warning time occasionally, like if you knew what to look for. Because luckily the screen actually wasn't even that big, which is another weird thing. But you can kind of see when the lights are about to get turned on, so I was like, oh, and I had to look down now. And you also knew like when a big thing was going to happen. It's like proton beam or ghost trap. Oh, I got to like basically unfocus my eyes, and I would have to like look kind of like away from it, so I could still kind of see it out of the corner of my eye, but not actually look straight at it, because it was just really bad. And it sucked because it wasn't just us; it was a lot of people. I know plenty of people didn't mind it. Apparently, actually, if you were further back and you were higher up, it did not affect you at all. People on the ground floor, especially in the first, I guess, 10 rows, we got really hurt. Especially the class 10 people who paid the big money to get front row. I know a lot of them moved back, so it was rough.
But I mean, overall, it was fun to be in a room with a bunch of Ghostbusting loving people,
especially as they got more drunk.
Oh god, as they got more drunk, it started to become like the Rocky Horror Picture Show interactive experience.
Which is funny because like the audience, to be fair, I thought was dead when we first began. They were dead when the thing was first going on. They're all chatting, but like they were playing the soundtrack from the Ghostbusters. I know. And then they were holding off. They finally played the theme song.
And nothing.
No one sang. No one said a word.
I saw there were a couple of people by us who were just kind of like, Ghostbusters!
It took a while for that to happen.
It was so bad.
No one was reacting to it. It was crazy.
It's like, how do you not? The most iconic song of the whole freaking thing, and no one was reacting. It was weird.
Like, it honestly wasn't until the last third of the movie, when everybody's drunk enough, that suddenly everybody's quoting every single line.
Oh my god.
And it was just nonstop at that point.
They were doing it before the lines even came
that's how you know you're a true nerd. You don't say it while they're saying it, you say it before, so the people know you know.
It was so bad and great.
I enjoyed it,
Yeah, it was like...
every line, every movement even... Oh my god! Maybe it might have been the last half, really, because I remember.
It was like the last half.
Remember the scene where Venkman goes to talk to Dana at the theater?
Yeah, that's when people really start.
And so they all start spinning around him, like when he spins with the roller skater.
Yes, that's
the horse spinning in the aisles. That was pretty great. It's like they were waiting for that moment. That's when they all got their life back. It seemed like.
No. My favorite though was everybody like so be good for goodness sake. Whoa! Everybody. That was wow.
There's a lot of great interactive moments, and it was great to be there. Like I've been to other Ghostbusters screenings before, which are usually more open to the public. This was being such more of a type event where it's more internal for the community. It was a very different experience, and I enjoyed it a lot. Everyone was really friendly also, which was nice.
It was nice to see. It was also really nice to see some kids, and it was also really nice to see some females who were like decked out. Not a lot of female Ghostbusters, but from the movie, but did see a few. But just in general, there was a lot of creativity, and it was just really good to see. No, there is a good group of female fans, Yeah. It's not something you get to hear about enough.
It was a good event, and especially by the end, like when the credits went off, everybody was like screaming, and then once the movie was over, they started the Ghostbuster chant, which was actually it was during the very ending of the credits. Like everybody started the Ghostbuster chant that went on for a few minutes.
Somebody had the "Thank You Ghostbusters" sign, which is fantastic.
There was a pair of very drunk Brits that were next to us. One of them got put up on the other guy's shoulders, and they were just going, "Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters."
Just like that?
I got footage of it, yeah.
Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters.
They were quite prim and proper, yes.
Okay, they sound like they're little cherubs, or...
They're Mary Poppins.
Ghostbusters, 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 Ghostbusters.
So that was day one. Overall, really cool experience, despite it being really loud and a little sensory overload for many people, not just us.
Yeah, and we stayed sober during this.
We were sober. If we were drunk, I don't even know how they got through it. Maybe that was the trick, being drunk. So day two was at the Sony Pictures Lot, and that was something else, because it's like, wow. Like we basically walked onto the lot, and there's already a line of like a few hundred people, almost all in jumpsuits and proton packs.
So cool.
I've never been surrounded by that many proton packs before. This was the largest mass gathering of Ghostbusters since the Tuscanga incident in 1908. I went to the mass sponge migration. I saw it firsthand. So we were greeted by a live band playing like an orchestral version of Ghostbusters.
That was so cool. I really liked that.
I wish I got more footage of that, but that was because we were just walking in, and I was like, I'll get more footage on the way in.
Ectos as far as the eye could see.
Which I regret not taking more video of either, because they had like a bunch of different Ecto ones, and...
Well, to be fair, part of what happened is that when we got there at open, so they had us going into the parking lot for registration, which was fine, and then you have to go around to security, and then they put us on the line pretty much immediately, which went right past all the cars and into into further into the lot. So they pretty much directed us away from all the cars.
Yeah.
And so us going back to it was a little bit more difficult because once you were in the event, you were in it.
Yeah, it wasn't quite easy to get out at that point. And by the time you're in it, you're not going to want to leave because you only have 8 hours, to be fair. And again, basically, once we walked in, we finally got a program also. That was our first time knowing when everything was happening and what was happening.
There was a lot going on.
There's way too much to just spring on someone, in my opinion.
I completely agree.
And I love, again, they told us in advance, basically, of a few panels. Like, maybe, I think we knew about, like, 3 panels.
We knew about the directors.
We knew about there was going to be a real Ghostbusters panel. We knew it was going to be a comic panel.
Yeah.
There was going to be another panel. There was we knew a few. It was more than 3, but it wasn't a lot. We didn't know every single thing that was happening.
We didn't know what the schedule was. We didn't know what times they were going to be or where they were going to be.
We also didn't know autograph times. But when I went to buy tickets, I wanted to look more into it. I was going to buy tickets for autograph photo op sessions, and I went through the whole purchase. I didn't go to the very finish line where I was going to actually buy it because I didn't do that because I thought the prices were too much for me. But I was trying to just get an idea of when things were going to be, because that would have been important to know also. Yeah. I'm assuming once you bought it, they probably gave you the time.
Yeah, but still, that's
something you should know in advance. You should know we should have had at least a week to figure out the timing of things, because it was hard to do things.
Yeah, one of the most important things when you're dealing with conventions for the con goer is being able to properly schedule your time. That you want your con goers to be able to schedule their time as best they can, because that means they're going to do more and be able to get the most out of the experience.
Yeah, the more information, the better.
Yeah.
And there was a real deficit of information.
There really was, yeah.
And this is Wizard World. They've done events for years, so they should know better.
And the thing is, and this was something that we noted on the schedule when we went online to look for it, also, is that if you look at their other events, they usually list the times for photo ops and autographs and for panels and all that stuff.
They list exhibitors, they list everything. Like, we did not know who exhibitors were going to be there. No. I only found out about exhibitors because I started looking up on Facebook. I typed in Ghostbusters Fan Fest, and I saw that Bixler was going to be there. I found out about Playmobil because we know people at Playmobil.
Yeah, I straight up asked
I was asking around people. I was honestly asking, I asked Diamond Select, will they be there? I asked all sorts of companies who's going to be there, who's not. We didn't know really until day of who was going to be there.
Yeah, it was a little frustrating because, one, for some of the toy companies in particular, we know these guys and we want to be able to make plans to, like, hey, let's show off your stuff, let's get some coverage, but also we want to know how much money we got to bring.
That was the big thing, too, because I brought a lot of cash because I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know there were free autograph sessions.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else out there knew, and if you knew, I'd like to know how you found out, because I didn't know. We ended up hopping on a line towards about 2 p.m. because I saw that I wanted William Atherton's autograph, and I saw there was a line of people. It was him, Maurice, and Dave Coulier. So I was like,
Maurice LaMarche, by the way, not just Maurice, who you're not buddies with.
On first name basis. Yeah. So we hopped on that line because I was like, well, we'll get through this line, whatever. And that's when we found out on that line that it was free.
And oh my god!
And that was a game changer.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I got all this. So yeah, I did end up meeting Maurice LaMarche, who was really awesome, by the way. I guess we're gonna talk about celebs now.
Oh yeah. I guess we're jumping into the celeb section real quick.
Yeah, so I got to meet Maurice LaMarche. I got to meet Dave Coulier, who you had a nice conversation with. Actually, you had a nice conversation with both of them.
I got to talk to both of them at different times. Okay, so with Maurice LaMarche, he started getting some brain action.
Yeah, I told him how I heard stories about him when he used to do Pinky and the Brain, how he'd do the warm-up in Brain's voice doing an old Orson Welles commercial monologue.
Yeah.
And he just went into it for me.
It was fantastic to hear.
And then he went into the champagne commercial as well for me. So here, I was listening to the Brain right in front of me do
I wish
Orson
I'd been
Welles.
recording that. If I had known, I wouldn't have been taking pictures. I would have been recording.
Yeah. And then you talked to Dave Coulier.
Yes. I've been watching Dave Coulier since I was really little. So we were talking about, because he hosted a kids show called Out of Control. Yes, I'm aging myself quite considerably right now. So we were talking about that. He's like, wow. I know that made him feel old as well as me.
And then we met William Atherton.
Yeah, and he was
really
so
great.
Nice. He was really, really nice. I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
And then
we jumped online for Ernie Hudson.
Then we jumped online for Ernie Hudson, and I went to get more cotton candy.
Yes.
Because they had orange cotton candy. I just wanted to know what orange cotton candy tasted like.
And Ernie had a pretty big line. We actually ended up being the last 2 people to meet Ernie Hudson that day.
Actually, we were the second to last.
Well, we were supposed to be the last, but there was a group of kids behind us.
Yeah, they took pity on the kids.
Yeah, which was nice.
And we're really glad about that. Ernie is just such a nice guy.
He really is. His line was taking so long because he was really chatting with people. He was going out of his way.
Such a trooper.
He was shaking by the end of it, honestly. I saw he was autographing. His hands were a little bit shaky.
So tired. I mean, people were bringing giant works of art for him to sign and to look at and to see. It was just intense.
And we should add that there's no limit on what you get signed either.
Yeah,
which,
I know.
Wish I had known that too.
No, I'm glad
but I
we
wouldn't have abused it. But
No,
yeah,
no, because Ernie was just amazing.
Yeah.
For that, like really, like wow. I don't even know. I mean, oof, he was just fantastic.
And Ernie Hudson, actually, if you guys watched our live stream, he actually walked right by us while we were doing the live stream because he basically came in around noon also. He'd been there, I'm sure, before, but he's basically doing, I guess, his first photo op of the day. He walked right past us.
If we're gonna have this conversation, then let's talk about the random celebrity stuff real quickly. So this is one of the really cool things about the way that the event was was structured. It was a small area. I mean, it was long. It was a nice walking area, but in terms of a regular con, it was small. And the thing is, there's no backstage. There aren't really that many backstage areas. Otherwise, you'd have to go around the entire lot.
It's literally a working lot, so it's not normally for the public.
Yeah,
it's not really a place to hide celebrities.
Yeah, and normally when we're going to a new location to work any kind of events, one of the first things we do, bathroom run. We find the best bathrooms that we can get to, and we found this nice little hidden one. And we take care of business. He puts his bag down to start, getting his equipment out. And who walks by us? Dan Aykroyd. And I'm like, Matt. He's like, what? Dan Aykroyd just walks right by, and he doesn't see it. Dan smiled at me, so sup.
You're forgetting the earlier part of that story, because I was actually riding a high from meeting someone else right moments before that.
Well, who was that one? The one before that, though. Wait, I don't remember who was before.
So, well, I was in the bathroom.
Oh, that's right. That was even better. This is really freaking
This is like breaking all autograph etiquette that I've ever known in my entire life. Because again, I used to cover fights, so I learned this from many other fighters. Like, you don't say hello to a celebrity or a special guest in the bathroom.
Well, you can say hi, but you don't bother them.
You don't shake their hands either.
No, you don't do anything other than maybe smile, nod, and say hello.
I broke those rules.
Oh, yes,
I was
you did.
waiting to go to the bathroom, and who's in front of me but Sheldon Kahn, the editor of Ghostbusters. And I was like, excuse, and he was actually he was in there, he's like, oh, hello, we were waiting online. And I was like, excuse me, are you Sheldon Kahn? He's like, yes, I am. I was like, OMG, I nerded out so hard.
He really did, it was fantastic.
And he was so polite, and he actually, I said, I want to go to your panel, I want to talk to you after. And so we did our things separately, obviously.
Yeah.
And then outside, I see him, he's actually waiting for me to talk to me more. He actually waited.
Yes, he was so nice about that, oh my gosh.
Such a cool guy, and then... So yeah, I was like riding my high of meeting Sheldon, and he told us about his panel, which we didn't know about either.
And he even said, he's like, yeah, ask all the questions you want, I'm here all day.
So yeah, as I'm putting my stuff away, then at that point, I'm just like, Sheldon, God.
Yeah, and I'm like...
Dan Aykroyd walks past.
It was so great. But then let's go further on into the day. We're at another random walk by. A golf cart goes by us at a different time, like maybe like a few hours later. And oh, who is it? It's Ivan Reitman. And again, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get his attention. He didn't notice. I'm like, he's like, oh, it's Ivan Reitman.
To be fair, I was taking a photo of someone else, and I was like, when I'm in work mode, I'm like, I'm laser focused.
No.
It's Ivan Reitman. But whatever, we have to see Ivan later anyway too, though.
And then finally, of our other fun adventures, you also got to meet Jason Reitman.
Oh yeah, we got to meet. I mean, we'll run down everybody who we met, who was there.
No, but I'm talking about our random walk.
Yeah, I guess we'll do that. Yeah, so I think this was probably middle of the day at this point.
It was middle of the day, yeah.
We were probably trying to get lunch or just had lunch.
Yeah, something like that.
And who do we see? But there's Jason Reitman with no one around him except for like a few folks.
He's talking to his people.
Looked like it, yeah. There's no one there. So I was like, that's Jason Reitman, and I didn't want to intrude, but I was like, I want to intrude.
Yeah.
So I kind of just I took out my Ghostbusters visual history book. That's what I was getting signed that day. That was my main thing.
It was yearbook style.
Yeah.
It looks so cool now.
So I walked over, and I kind of just stood a little bit away from him. And I was like, I didn't want to interrupt him either. I wanted to kind of find a natural spot to bug him, basically.
Yeah.
But he was talking. He's like, oh, can I help you with something? And I was like, yes.
Oh my god! Again, I wish I'd taken better pictures.
He signed my book. He took a photo of me and Jason.
Yes.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
And Jason was really cool, and he's like, "Oh man, I can't wait to see his movie."
I'm excited about that. And then finally, I think this is the finally.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the evening, because we know people over at Playmobil, and we just we like them. We like what they're doing with the Ghostbusters stuff, as you guys have seen. We offered to take their Ecto and get pictures of it with the larger Ecto.
They had the real Ecto one there.
Yeah.
And basically, there was only 2 reps in the Playmobil booth. They really couldn't easily leave it.
No, they'd been there. They had been stuck all day, so we wanted to help them out. And who do we see as we're walking by with all of this? But Paul Feig.
Well, actually, first we saw Maurice LaMarche.
We did see Maurice LaMarche.
That's when I got my photo with him.
That's right.
Me holding the Ecto one with Maurice LaMarche.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Yeah, they're not buds.
But yeah, then we saw
Paul Feig.
So Paul Feig was I think he must have just done, maybe he was hanging out in the green room. I don't really know what he was doing there.
He was, but he had to leave. So this was like a little bit around 5 o'clock at this point.
So he had his people, he was walking out, and people were stopping him for photos and stuff.
And he was being nice and sort of stopping, but also he kind of was. He needed to leave, we found out later. Like, he had to leave.
Yeah, he had a thing to do.
He kept stopping.
He was just too nice to people.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he walked by you, and he saw the Ecto-1. He's like, oh, what's that?
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, yes.
He was like, that's really nice. And then he said hi to the camera.
He said hi, and then you got him to take a picture.
We kept following because we were still walking behind him because we had the Ecto-1.
We were trying really hard because his people were like, he really needs to go. We can't stop for photos. Like, it's okay. Is it okay if we just take pictures? Because we can totally do the walk-in photo thing. He's like, yeah, that's fine. And then finally, Paul stopped and actually decided to, do some signs.
He did a few, yeah.
With people, and his people are like, we've lost control of the situation. We don't know what to do anymore. Whatever you want.
And that's when I jumped in for the selfie.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. He was so nice, and I'm just really glad I got to tell him, that. And I don't care what any of y'all haters say. I like the new Ghostbusters. I like the work he did. I like the female Ghostbusters, and I was glad to tell him that, and that I do hope that they one day do a sequel.
Yeah,
they're probably not, but I would love to see them come back.
It's not my favorite, but it helped at least get people remembering it again. It did some good as much as it was not the greatest thing out there.
I'm never going to say that it's as good as the other two movies. I'm never going to say it can replace them or any of that, but I liked the vibe. I liked that they introduced the females. I thought that there was a lot of potential. I think it could have been better in terms of setup, and some of that was script more than direction and other stuff.
It was problematic in a lot of ways, but
absolutely. But I would loved a sequel because I think they could have done so much more.
I think a sequel would have honestly been 10 times better than the first. They would have worked at all the kinks, but that's
a whole different thing. But I was just happy that I got to tell him that. Because I'm sure he appreciated hearing that.
And I think most of the fans that were there were also pretty supportive. Like, even if they didn't like the movie, they're still supportive of him. And, it's a proper Ghostbusters crowd. They're just happy to have Ghostbusters.
It's true. It was really fun. But, and I think overall, like, those were our walk-bys of craziness.
But there was official things happening, too. Like, there was the actual autograph area, which was separated by... I guess the lower tier people who you had to actually pay for. And I don't really know how to describe it.
Not lower tier. I would say
not the stars. Essentially, it was like you had Robin Shelby, who was the voice of Slimer, one of the voice of Slimer. Mm-hmm. You had Sylvita Jovan, who was Gozer. That rare appearance for her. Yeah. Violet Ramus Steele was there.
That was really cool. We got to meet Violet, and it's cool because she's a New York girl, just like us. She's from New York, like us. Yes. You're not a girl.
No, I'm not. No, sorry if I disappoint you.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'll grow into it. It's fine.
It's all good. But we were able to pick up her book, and she's just really, she's a sweetheart. She really is. She was so nice. Let's see. There's also the gentleman.
You were hanging out a lot with I don't remember his name, but the guy who was.
Oh gosh, I don't remember it either.
I hope I have some photos, but he was the guy who was one of the Scoleri brothers. He was a puppeteer.
Yes, he was one of the puppeteers, and his body of work is just amazing.
Which that's kind of the funny thing. Is like a lot of these people are not like top celebrities, but they're Californians and they're working Californian actors or whatever they do. So they've got a lot of stories. They've been in the business for a long time. These people.
Yeah, the gentleman that I saw, like the one that we're talking about, he worked on Beetlejuice. He worked on Gremlins, or Gremlins 2, I think. He worked on the one that got my attention. He worked on Howard the Duck. I love that movie. I will fight anyone who says otherwise. Don't care. Love it. Best movie ever. Okay, maybe not, but still love it. And he also he worked on the Jurassic Park T-Rex before Stan Winston was brought in, and that was one hell of a story.
Yeah.
Finding out all of that was just like, ooh.
Yeah, like, I wish we had more time to spend more celebrities. I wish I had more money too.
Yeah.
But, I didn't even know where the hell my money went because I didn't even really buy anything except for some few autographs here and there.
Yeah.
But
food cost,
everything.
Everything.
Well, yeah. In terms of, we'll get back to exhibitors, but there's a lot of really cool celebrities there. I wish I had more money to meet more. And Wizard World also brought in a few other. I don't really know how to classify them other than D-listers. I feel bad saying that.
No, I don't think that they were D-listers.
It was basically whoever they could get in town that was there to help kind of fill the show out.
Okay, that I would agree with. It was sort of like they set up an extra little non-Ghostbusters related mini autograph session,
which was really unnecessary, and I felt bad for people that were there because I know they were selling stuff. I know they were moving stuff, but I know.
To be honest, it actually worked out really well for me because I don't normally do autograph stuff, but there was one person there who I looked at this and I'm like, I don't think he ever does appearances, and this is something I will never get another chance to do because if he does appearances, he only does it on the West Coast. And that's Bob Gunton. Most people know him as the warden from Shawshank Redemption. You know, the one who goes like, you know, the bad one. He's been in like a gazillion other things. He's also on Daredevil.
He's been in everything.
Yeah,
he's been
honestly,
around for a long time.
He's been around for a long time. I've been watching him in various things since I was really little. But a lot of people don't realize this. He was the original, oh god, it's Juan Perón, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He was the original Juan Perón on Broadway in Evita. First of all, I love the soundtrack. And second of all, I didn't realize it was him because he actually uses an accent.
Yeah.
And third, I have his Lights of Broadway card! I'm like, I don't get these autographed often, I'm doing this!
And you got to meet him and he was really cool.
He was so nice.
That's good.
The only downside is I was told I could take a picture, and when I did it, the camera didn't work.
Yeah.
But he was so nice, and he was happy to see it, and when I mentioned Davida, he's like, oh, you must be from New York, because you don't get a lot of theater nerds out here. Like, yeah.
He was really cool, and Lou Ferrigno was there, Bai Ling was there.
Saw a lot of Bai Ling. She was
everywhere. A lot of stunt
everywhere.
people were there. Yeah, she was all over the place. There was, but yeah, David Hayter was there, who I kind of wanted to meet, but we didn't have a chance to.
Greg DeLise was there.
Greg Griffin was there.
Greg Griffin.
I don't know if she was actually there. We never ever saw her in her booth, so I don't know if she even showed up or not.
I think she did,
but they basically brought in a bunch of other celebrities. I don't think it was necessary.
Some people from Star Wars. Though my favorite,
they wanted the Ewoks from Star Wars.
But also the rhinoceros-looking dude whose name I never remember. The green guy.
Gamorrean guard.
Yeah, him. Yeah. Yes, I suck at knowing the names, but
because a green pig looks like a rhinoceros.
I don't know what I just did.
But there was a lot of other
Okay, bring on the shame.
Yeah.
Bring it on. I deserve this one.
I'm not going to disagree.
But the one really cool one, okay, because I don't remember his name, again, sorry everyone whose names we don't remember, but there was the stuntman, Egon's stuntman, who it turns out was also General Martok's stuntman.
Yeah, you know, a lot of those people who were stunt people, they work for other shows, and just happened to be that this guy was also in a bunch of Star Treks. Yeah, he was Martok's double, which was pretty cool.
That was really, really cool.
He was nice, cool. We met the guy who was the inside the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man suit.
And he had like one of the gloves with him.
Yeah, he was really cool. And so other celebrity things as well. We also went to a few panels. So we went to the visual effects and editing panel, which had Sheldon Kahn, Billy Bryan, Richard Edlund, and oddly enough, a bunch of other people sitting in the front row who all worked on the film. They're just there hanging out and supporting their friends.
No, it would have been great if they could have talked, though. I mean, I don't think there was enough time because the panel itself went over by about 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Which was so great. We're like, well, we wanted to go to this panel, but we're not leaving.
Yeah, they're like, does anybody have any questions? Well, we have to leave now, but does anybody have any questions? Oh, sure, you five. Go ahead.
It was so great.
That's because, again, they were all really, really, really friendly people, especially Sheldon Kahn, who ended up, he was a de facto moderator.
That was so great.
And they told a lot of great stories. I actually have some footage of that on our YouTube page, so you can take a look at a few of the stories. I wasn't allowed to film the whole thing. I thought I probably could have, but we were told not to. We actually were told originally not to film full panels. Yeah, meanwhile, it turned out everybody was filming everything, so it didn't even matter. I could have just filmed it. Yeah, but I was trying to abide by the rules at least for a few hours. And then when I saw everybody filming everything, I was like, well, let's head out the window now.
And that's where Ray Parker Jr. concert comes in.
Yeah. But
that's a different story.
But yeah, the celebrities are really great. Everybody's really friendly.
Everyone was so nice. And I think part of it is because they're not used to getting this kind of attention. It's a shame that the creatives and the people who put in the behind-the-scenes work don't get nearly as much love as, you know, the actors. I think it's really great that this event was able to honor a lot of, you know, a lot of that. You know, a lot of the behind-the-scenes people.
But I do wish, again, going back to the whole schedule thing, I wish we knew in advance that there was free signings.
Oh my god, that was very frustrating, yes.
Because it's like we had to basically make some decisions on the fly. And it just so happened to be like, I think when we first got there, we found the bathroom after we walked through the lot a little bit, found the other bathroom, and then we basically had to go to the first panel with Sheldon Kahn because we just didn't have time.
Yeah.
And then at that point, when that was over, it's like 1:30 probably by that point.
I think it was after 2 at that point.
Yeah.
I think we got maybe about half an hour of wandering time. We got about half an hour wandering time because after the bathroom, we were able to check out, do a very brief walk around because that's when I got my Bob Gunton autograph. Yeah. And then shortly after that, we had to run to the panel.
Yeah, and we saw that there were lines for people. Like, there's I know Paul Feig was there doing a signing, but again, didn't know that was a free signing.
Yeah.
And I would have hopped in that line because I actually did want to meet him as well. But luckily, I got to meet him anyway. But
yeah, right. Yeah. I like your way of meeting him better.
Yeah, it's cool too. But I just wish we had known that. And same with the panels, like, because they're also all over the place. There'd be panels at the same time in different buildings. Yeah. And so, that made it hard to do things also.
And also, even when we got to the main area where they were doing all the photo ops, I don't know what the lines were like inside, but it was hard to tell what line went for what because it looked as though there were two lines at one point.
There's no barricade of any
Yeah.
kind to like separate the two lines. So you kind of just had to ask and get on the line, and that
Or
that
get
wasn't
out,
the
or just
worst.
walk right in.
Yeah.
We were able to just walk right in, which was great. But there was this huge line for all the photo ops, so we're like, is this where we're supposed to go? Do we go here? So yeah, we had to ask around.
And I feel bad for people who actually got the photo ops in some ways, because I know like they got great photos. I know we saw someone actually proposed in one of those photo ops.
That looked really sweet. Yeah.
But for me it was a lot of money, and you would have spent probably most of your day just waiting in line.
It feels that way unless you got there right away.
And if you got multiple ops, you have to go back on that line.
my
So I don't
gosh.
know how that worked out. Since we didn't do the photo ops, I don't really know how it worked out, but typically that's how it does work.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to spend my whole day, unfortunately, waiting for photo ops.
No,
So
but we got a lot of great
we got
photos.
a lot of cool people otherwise,
and we met
though.
a lot. Yeah.
I'm happy what I got and who I met.
Yeah, and later on we were also again near Dan Aykroyd. We didn't get to talk to him, but hey, we got some pictures of him too. So that works.
We actually saw Dan Aykroyd was doing an interview with someone else somehow. That happened, and but that was at the same time that the Ivan Reitman and Jason Reitman panel happened, which was also on the main stage outside, which I filmed the entire thing of. That's when they show those alternate scenes and deleted
That was
footage.
so good.
And so I was like, Dan Aykroyd, deleted scenes, deleted scenes.
Yeah, I got some photos of Dan. Then there was the guy who was also doing press coverage, but he was dressed so nicely. We thought originally he was cosplaying as Paul Feig.
Yeah.
It was pretty great.
So as for the Sony Pictures Lot itself, it was basically right where Ghost Core was, but we had freedom to walk around a lot of the
Oh my
lot,
God.
which was a really fun experience, especially as the day got quieter, and you could kind of walk around. Like, yes, security was everywhere, as they should
You
be,
have to be careful.
but you could still walk around the lot. That was just fun to like say that I'm on the Sony Pictures Lot, and I'm walking through the studios, like, here's a bunch of Oscars in a window, here's like a poster of Cary Grant, and
Oh my God, there
Laurence
was
Olivier.
so much history there. Unfortunately, there were a lot of signs for shows that have recently been canceled.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny, and except for the One Day at a Time one, which made me sad. Save one day at a time. Hashtag save ODAAT. You heard it. It was just such a cool thing to be surrounded by all that history. I mean, even the theater names. It's like the Cary Grant Theater, or there was the Backstage Theater. They were doing they were showing the documentaries in there.
there's a few that premiere, which we didn't go to just again because of timing, and we had other
Yeah.
stuff to do. They showed Cleaning Up the Town, finally debuted after 10 years, because I'm a backer of that documentary. I backed it 10 years ago. They finally debuted at least part one. I haven't even looked up actually what was announced for releases or whatever, but finally showed that. They also showed off the new Ray Parker Jr. documentary, which was only announced like very recently,
Yeah, that was only announced like a few
which
days
is cool.
before.
So there were a lot of cool panels. We did go to the Real Ghostbusters Toys panel.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had hoped that there would be some new stuff. They might talk about some newer stuff, but it was just really more about the history of the toys. They had one of
Yeah.
the guys who worked on the line. I mean, it was cool.
It was, but unfortunately, the way it was described in the schedule book
Yeah.
was that we're going to talk about all the toys new and old. And earlier that morning, I think it was that morning, like a leak came out that Mattel was going to do WWE Ghostbusters toys, and we were like, "Oh my God, Mattel's going to show up and bring Ghostbusters there." No, it was just the Kenner toys, which was cool, but it's like I was actually under the assumption it would have been like, let's talk the Extreme Ghostbusters toys, let's talk about the new stuff Mattel did, let's talk about Diamond Select, but no, it was just actually focused on Kenner, which was cool. We got to see some nice stuff, and I got to hear some commentary about it, but ultimately it was just pictures from the catalogs.
Yeah.
It's cool, but not what I was hoping it was going to be.
Exactly. But yeah, so like I said, the whole thing was sort of stretched out. It was really neat. The way that they had the exhibitors, they had them kind of. You had like the main area where the main stage was, and it was on.
And that was like basically the companies that had stuff to sell were there.
Yeah.
So that's where you had by the main stage Playmobil, Bixler, the shoe guys. Was it Reebok or Nike or
wasn't that Foot Locker?
K-Swiss.
It was Foot Locker.
Foot Locker, yeah, it was Foot Locker. Yeah, people selling Ghostbuster shoes were there, which had an enormous line.
Oh my God, that was huge.
Eagle Moss Hero Collectibles was there with their Ecto 1, which was enormous. Chronicle Collectibles had their real Ghostbusters statues.
IDW was there.
IDW had their stuff there, because also Dan Schoening and Tom Waltz and Eric Burnham were there. I got autographs from all of them, and they were so cool too.
But they were, again, they were further
They were
away
close
from
to
it.
the back, yeah. They were by the Ghost Core, whereas the stage was by the front entrance.
Yeah, so it was interesting how they set up. It was nice that there were people along the line, along the whole thing. But
you keep walking, you need to see all sorts of cool things. So most of it was Ghostbusters franchise that showed up.
There was one guy who had the slime blower, only it was like bubbles.
Yeah, that was cool.
And he was in front of a poster of Vigo. That was really fun. He just was so happy.
Yeah.
And then that would lead you to the very, very back where there were food trucks. Which,
It was nice.
It was a nice
Really
selection.
expensive, though. I mean, we're from New York. We were saying that was expensive.
Yeah, there was some craziness.
I paid like $20-something for chicken and rice and a soda.
I paid $20 for a burger and chips.
And we're used to paying, pretty crazy rates at like New York
15 was kind of where I thought it would end up, but because I didn't even get a drink.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought an ice cream cone for I think $5.
That was a bargain of the day.
Yeah. Still, the ice cream totally worth it, just because I was so hungry and I needed something at that point. But
it was 8 hours of running around. But
yeah.
So yeah, a lot of stuff was really cool. The franchises were cool. I wish there were more exhibitors though.
Yes.
And that's because again, they didn't say who was going to be there because there was no exhibitor listing on the website. I was expecting there to be even their own merchandise. I thought we were going to get Ghostbusters Fan Fest shirts and hats.
I was so sad about that.
There's no merchandise from Ghostbusters Fan Fest. There's no T-shirt suppliers. The only actual real vendor was this person selling mystery boxes.
Yeah.
And some other random stuff. Otherwise, it was all just mostly franchises and the major companies in the front.
Yeah, I mean,
and there was less than 10 of those.
Yeah,
easily
I was honestly really disappointed because I don't really have any Ghostbusters merch to wear or anything like that, so I'd been really hoping I could pick something up and to change into it, and there was just nothing.
Yeah, I actually was expecting to buy more stuff too, to be honest.
Yeah.
I ended up not buying anything except for a few autographs.
I mean, the one thing that I saw that was the most Fan Fest related was the Bixler 35 necklace, and that was expensive.
Yeah.
It was really nice, but it was expensive. I think depending on what ticket package you got, I think you got something.
Yes.
You definitely got a commemorative bag, and you might have gotten a little extra something. But for those of us who were either press or who maybe did the general thing, general tickets, I don't think we were able to, they got
that. You didn't get anything. And the people that got the Class 5 and probably, I know Class 10, they got some good stuff.
Yeah.
Was it worth the price of the ticket? I guess we didn't pay for it, so we can't really talk.
Yeah.
I mean, we're kind of jumping ahead a little bit. I kind of think the prices were a little stupid big. And if we're going to talk about that now, I guess real quick anyway, with the fact that there was the lack of scheduling, you didn't know information about slab times, that there were that there were free autographs versus photo ops.
Mm-hmm.
None of that stuff was really out there. And the fact is, they probably could have had more people there if they dropped the prices a little bit. And that's the thing, is they were trying to get people in there because I don't think it sold that well. It was full house still. It was still pretty full.
Oh,
people,
it was very full.
I think they were hoping for more because you saw actually, there was a Groupon.
Yep.
A Groupon for this thing.
That broke my heart a little bit. Because if they had done more reasonable pricing in the beginning, and the fact is, part of the pricing issue might have come out because they might have been in talks with certain people that would have demanded, a higher price, pricing, and if those talks fell through, then of course they could then drop the pricing and all that. But I think if they had started with a lower price point, I think it would have sold out a lot better. They wouldn't have had to resort to, to Groupon or any other kind of discounts.
Yeah, so it wasn't just a Groupon, by the way. We went to comic stores in the area after. Yeah. We saw flyers with 20% off codes.
Yeah, I think that it could have been a lot better had it been done in a different way.
You have to keep in mind, too, this is really a destination event. We came from New York. There was other people who came from, equally as far,
there were people
if not
who came,
further. We had people from, as I mentioned, England.
Mm-hmm.
We saw some from Spain. There were some from Mexico.
Yep.
We saw some, I think we saw from, actually, Hong Kong. There was a few.
Did we see any Australians? I feel like we might have seen an Australian.
Might have. They basically, people came from all over the world to see this. So it's you're already paying a ton of money for airfare. And then you're going to spend another $500 per person to get the special pack.
It was.
Granted, it's on the Sony Pictures Lot, so it's exclusive and it's intimate, but it's a lot of money.
Yeah, like I said, we've always understood that there was a need for certain types of pricing, but the way it came out, right off the bat, it didn't seem to jive with how everything else was all the other information that was being given to us.
Yeah,
that was very disappointing. To us.
If we had more information to base our purchases on, I would have felt more okay. If I had to have bought the $500 thing, knowing when the panels would be, who was going to be there, knowing more information would just help me say, yes, I can spend this absurd amount of money to do this thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I know a lot of people obviously did not go. A lot of fans who really wanted to go did not go because it was so far away. It was a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And we were, again, I feel really lucky we got the press pass.
Yes.
And I know they actually, they extended that to a lot of other people as well. Because I know a lot of other big Ghostbuster people were there who were in the news community, came to this thing, got press passes. Thankfully, they did that. Otherwise, it's a big loss. And it's not for example, Star Trek Experience, a Star Trek mission in Vegas. That's the big one. And that's probably the most expensive con in America.
Oh my God, yeah.
For the good stuff, you're gonna spend over $1,000.
Yeah, but the thing is, you already have an idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah, they announce things months in advance.
Months in advance, and they have such a history based off of to a degree what to expect. Even if you don't know all the people going or all the vendors or everything, you still have an idea as to what to expect because of what they've done in the past. For a first time, one time only kind of thing, you got to give more.
And FanFest had time to say these things too. It wasn't like it was like a month out. No, they had a few months to actually tell us what's going on, so they could have given us some more information.
And even if they said, hey, we're talking to a lot of people, we're trying to get you the best con possible, we're working on it, as opposed to coming soon.
Yeah.
I think that would have also gone a long way, because I think fans who are going to put down all this kind of money, I think they just want to know that the people creating the cons are, willing to be in touch with them, willing to see what they're doing. They want to be seen and heard.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably that's the biggest complaint, is just the lack of communication.
But back to the con itself.
Yeah.
So at this point we've kind of we're wrapping things up, because it was a long day that moved really quickly. It
really did.
It was 8 hours, but it moved fast.
Oh my god! And this was outside. I mean, there was so much going on, and then finally we pretty much ended up just on the main stage because all the panels ended up there. The last few.
And we missed a lot of the big ones I wanted to see, unfortunately, because they had the 35th anniversary panel with the stars from that. They had a lot of the
voiceover one.
Well, that was in a theater.
Yeah,
but the main stage had the big stuff. Yeah. So we missed that, but we were there for Ivan and Jason, which was great, as we mentioned.
That was wonderful.
And then at that point they were getting ready for the Ray Parker Jr. concert, which was quite a thing.
And this is where we finally saw who our MC and host was.
Yeah.
Matthew, when I say Ghostbusters, who do you think of?
Well, the first person I think of when you say Ghostbusters is Kato Kaelin. For all those millennials out there who have no idea what we're saying, Kato Kaelin is most famous, I guess you could say, for being part of the O.J. Simpson trial in the 90s.
Yep, that's how he came to fame. That's how he came to fame.
And then he went on to be in, I guess, Big Brother Celebrity or something, or
Survivor
Celebrity.
He went on to do a bunch of reality TV stuff.
A lot of reality schlock.
I think he had originally been an actor, and he'd been trying to do a whole bunch of stuff, and he went on to become a reality star, and I guess he's been doing the autograph circuit.
And for some reason, and mind you, this was one of the few announcements Wizard World told us about Ghostbusters Fan Fest, he was the MC of the entire event. So he was there all day, and to be fair, he had high energy. He was great. He actually was pretty great. I give him a lot
of credit. Yeah, no, he was a good host, MC, whatever.
He got in the jumpsuit and everything, and he was keeping up the energy as much as he could, because
he was trying.
Especially after this many hours, the audience was starting to fade.
Yeah,
you could tell they were, and it was just hot. It was outside.
It was a rough. By the end of it, everyone was kind of like, oh.
I mean, I still don't understand the logic of having Kato Kaelin.
I don't either, but
he was a thing that they announced.
I mean, I don't know, maybe he's secretly a giant fan.
He might be. I mean, we missed a lot of his spiel at the beginning of the day.
Yeah, so I have no idea what was going on there, but it was just Kato Kaelin.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I give him credit though for.
Yeah, no, totally.
He worked hard. He worked his butt off that day.
Yeah, he worked it. Yeah, he really did. He worked it. He was dancing. He was in the crowd. He was doing all sorts of crazy things. It was a lot of fun.
So yes, that was finally the first time we saw him was for the Ray Parker Jr. concert, and I basically positioned myself really close to the stage.
Oh my god, you had a fantastic spot.
A lot of people were filming it. I wanted to get as close as I could without blocking people, also, because I was right by one of the hard cams that eventually moved anyway as the concert was over. So yeah, Ray Parker Jr. came out.
Wow, that was...
And he did a 17-minute long version of Ghostbusters.
Was it 17 minutes?
It was 17 minutes.
Wow.
17 minutes of Ghostbusters.
I didn't realize it was 17 minutes.
Didn't feel like it.
No, it really didn't. And I have to admit, I did not know just how damn talented Ray Parker Jr. is.
People forget what a serious rocker Ray Parker Jr. is.
He is hardcore. I'm just this is a man with soul.
He's got a lot of talent. People know him from Ghostbusters, but he's got a lot of other big hits that didn't get the attention as Ghostbusters did. No. That just worked out that way. But the man can really rock a guitar.
He really can. I mean, his band was fantastic. There were people dancing. They were doing this line dance.
17 minutes of line dancing.
Oh my god!
I give credit to those dancers too, who, by the way, they're worried that I was gonna get hit by them or whatever. They were pretty good. I only got hit by one person towards the end, and at that point, it was just our hands kind of hit.
Yeah.
But at that point, they were so dead tired from dancing 17 minutes. I think I hurt him more than he hurt me.
I mean, especially the woman who was leading it. Oh my god, she kept her energy up. I don't know how she did it. Yeah. Because everyone else was just okay, we're doing this, we're trying, we're going. But you could tell, you could see the fatigue. I mean, there were little kids who were flipping out and dancing the whole time.
Those little kids danced for the entire 40 minutes of the concert because they were just in the front row.
And then there was my favorite. There was somebody in, I don't know if it was the guy who was in Stilts or if it was another one, but there was definitely someone who's cosplaying as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So he's in a full suit. And then during one of the interludes or during one of the parts, he just starts rocking out. He starts headbanging. He's it was impressive. it was really, really impressive.
It was really cool, yeah. And the concert was, again, that was really fun. Like, I don't really go to a lot of concerts because they're just too loud for me. I'm an old man, apparently.
I just can't afford
but
it.
But I spent 40 minutes front row right by the speaker.
Yeah, and you could sort of hear.
Not much for a while. It took about an hour to get the whole hearing back, but I didn't mind it because it was such a cool moment.
Yeah.
And, like, I was right by Ray Parker. He was looking at me. He'd walk past me.
Yeah, he got right up in. I was recording as well on my phone. He's like right up in there.
I mean, there's probably people who had like better centralized views, but I was definitely the closest and also steadiest footage.
Yes.
And yeah, most maneuverable footage you'll see if you check it out because I had a new toy I was playing with that day.
Yeah, way
so
too much fun.
I think I've got some really great footage there. So if you guys want to check out the whole concert, I recommend it because it's a great 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, he just kept going. He did a couple of his
he
other
did The
songs.
Other Woman. Mm-hmm. He did one of his other songs I don't remember the name of, a slower song.
Yeah.
Then he just rocked out for a while.
And it was great. And then when he had like 2 minutes left, he's like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, you know, and then
he's like, "Oh, we got 60 seconds. All right, who are you gonna call?" He just goes into it.
Busted makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That was just fantastic. Like really, I need to get more of his music now. Because I need to hear it because he's so good.
It was a great event. The deleted scenes were great, which, by the way, those scenes that we talked about that they were showing during the Jason Ive Reitman panel, you could see them on this YouTube page as well in a different video. And they actually released the full res versions as well, officially.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
that's good. Yeah, you can still watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But, yeah, I mean, I guess final thoughts about the whole event.
I mean, early stuff aside, you know, the communication issues, the scheduling issues, and all of that stuff, which are very legitimate concerns, but, you know, they're very legitimate complaints, but all that stuff aside, this was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's... I mean, I got to meet people I never thought I'd meet. I got to be near people I never thought I'd be near. I mean, really, Dan Aykroyd just gave me... The look he gave me during the bathroom walk, because he knew why I was calling you. I was like, I don't even know what to say. I'm just going to smile and be like, hey, we're going to keep it cool. But also, you're Dan Aykroyd. What the hell? You know? So it was just so nice to be around everybody in this way. And everyone was so nice and supportive. And with the exception of a few people that, you know, no one was really stinky. You know, which I also was really happy about. Or maybe it was just better ventilation because it was outside.
It was outside. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
If it was indoors.
Oh, yeah. Oh, if it was indoors, we wouldn't die. But it was just so nice to be surrounded by so many people who just loved Ghostbusters.
It's a very positive community, and it's like, yeah, like,
so wonderful.
Logistics-wise, thumbs down, but everything else, 2 thumbs up, because it was such a great experience for me, being the Ghostbuster fan I am. You know, it was really, really great. I wish I'd spent more time there. I wish there was more time to have spent there. I wish I'd met more people.
I'm really glad that you were able to be more of a fan this time than you were just doing coverage.
Yeah, like, I wanted to shoot more stuff. I wanted to do more work. I didn't really do as much as I wanted to do. I
took a ton of pictures. I'm sure eventually people will see some of them. But part of why I was taking so much is because I knew that this event, well, as much as I enjoyed it, this was your event, and you needed to be the fan. And I'm glad you were able to. Because
it was a good experience,
This was overall just a lot of fun. I mean, could have used a few more seats.
Yeah.
Could have used a few more seats, could have used a little bit more water, but, like, the logistics stuff, it was just really wonderful, and people were just loving and supportive, and the guests were just so gracious and nice.
The accessibility was out of this world, amazing.
Crazy.
Everybody was, you know, if you want to take a photo, you saw someone outside, they'd take a photo with you. Like, they knew how important this was for us as the Ghostbusters community.
And it was just, it was absolutely wonderful. Like, really, I hope that for another anniversary, maybe they can do another one down the road. Maybe work out some of the kinks. Maybe get some of the other people who couldn't come.
I mean, I get the feeling it's going to be a one-time thing only.
I do too. But a girl can dream.
Yeah. For a one-time thing, it was pretty great. I mean, there was people who I wish were there also, like Rick Moranis, Sigourney, Annie Potts.
Annie Potts and...
She did leave a message, though, for us. She actually did, in one of the panels, she left a video message just saying she couldn't be there because she had prior engagement.
Okay.
But she said hello to everybody.
Okay, that's good. But basically, Rick Moranis and Annie Potts were the 2 that I was really hoping. There were rumors about Sigourney. But the cool thing is that's when the news dropped that she and Bill Murray were on board.
Well, yeah, they announced them and Ernie. Yeah. Basically, they said like
we knew about Ernie.
They said all the originals, with the exception of, I guess, Rick Moranis, have read the script and are on board. And I think even Annie Potts is like supposed to be now on board too.
Yeah,
so in some capacity.
That part was just really nice. But you know what? Even with Bill and Sigourney not being there,
Bill wasn't going to do it anyway.
Yeah,
we know that. Yeah.
we knew that was happening. But yeah, Rick Moranis and Annie Potts were the 2 that I was really hoping might do a surprise thing. But
I mean, overall, it was just a lot of really positive, happy people who wanted to be there. They're all good fans, and you know, it's unfortunate 'cause now I'm like, I look at a lot of the comments I'm getting on some of these videos, and it's just like, It's like, welcome back to reality, because I'm getting so much negativity in on a lot of my videos for no reason.
Oh, see, that's not right, because
like,
really,
I'm getting people bashing the 2016 movie. Like, granted, these are videos about Ivan and Jason Reitman. I've got people saying, "Oh, I hate the 2016 movie for this feminist SJW garbage."
That's
unrelated to anything that's in the video.
No, that's just so not fair. It really isn't. And I mean, just being around the real fans was just wonderful. This was a loving group of people.
And just because you didn't get to go doesn't mean you're not a real fan.
Yeah, of course.
But it's the toxic fans. That,
but that's what I'm saying. It's like there were no toxic fans here that I could find. There was nobody toxic. When I say real fans, I mean those people. I mean, it doesn't matter whether they're there or elsewhere. It's the people who are loving and embrace the people, the community, as well as the fandom.
And even if you didn't like the 2016 movie, or you don't like the idea that there's going to be kids in the newest one coming out next year, we're just happy to have Ghostbusters. Anything Ghostbusters is good. That's what matters to us. It's just having it alive and keep going.
Yeah, and as long as they don't do a script that's super bad to the point where we're like, oh god.
Well, I think we're in safe hands with Jason.
Exactly. You know, I'm willing to be happy. Also, I do want to point out one really, really fun thing that happened at the very, very end as we're leaving the lot. One of the Ectos drove out, and it had the lights going, and it was just so nice because a bunch of us were in the area, and we just kind of stopped and we're like, huh.
It was the true end of the night.
It felt like the end of the night as it just drove off into the distance. that was a good moment. Yeah. That was kind of a good way to end it.
So that's our review of Ghostbusters Fan Fest in Culver City, California. One of the best conventions I could say I've been to. Logistics-wise, again, that part made it kind of stinky. But otherwise, I had a lot of fun. It was a great event. I wish it was a 2 full day event.
I do too. I understand, given the size and given what was going on, why it wasn't. But at the same time, it would have been nice if we could have had more somehow.
Yeah, it was a very intimate experience. I just think there was logistical and pricing issues were really the biggest problem, and that scared away a lot of people from coming, sadly. So if you didn't get to go, I apologize, but there's plenty of videos out there, so you can at least still experience a lot of what we saw. I have a highlight reel of a lot of things as well. There's a lot of coverage on this channel, even though I didn't do as much as I wanted. There still is plenty of stuff you can look at.
And it was a really fun, wonderful experience. This is the kind of con stuff that I really love. Yeah. Where it's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be centralized, but I just love the intimacy of it, and just, lots of love. There's so much love in the room.
It's going to be a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's our look. GB Fan Fest 2019. Will there be another one? Who knows? Probably not. But hey.
We can hope.
Yeah. So I'm Matthew.
I'm Andrea.
We'll see you guys next time with some more whatever it is we do here in Nerd News today. Because there's a lot of things we do here in Nerd News today.
We really do a lot of random things.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, especially because you sat through about an hour of this. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.